Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look here, like I told y'all in the last episode, man, Q's gotten out, and he's told by bro talks to him on the phone, letting him know that he might have misjudged him. He tell Q that, he had told his sister about, you know, everything that, happened in this case and whatnot. And Q got pissed about it. He didn't let bro know that, but he ended up getting into an argument with bro's sister, his girlfriend, and he slaps her. He shows a side of him she has never seen. Now, keep in mind, let me tell you one more thing, too. Now, from the time that she gave him her phone number to the time that he got out was about 18 months. Okay? It was a fast thing that happened. Fast. Now he's living with her on parole. Right? Now, keep in mind, she's not a street person. Her mom's not a street person, but her brother is. He's the folks. And she's living in the house with somebody that he's working, but she understands, she knows he's a gangster disciple. She was told about his past. She ignored it because she wanted to give him a chance, and she started to develop feelings, and then she developed these feelings, and now she's in love with him. And she had never seen anything like this. And now all of a sudden, he slaps her. Now the reality of the situation is full-fledged in her face. And she's starting to think that she's starting to realize that her brother was telling her the truth, that she should have steered clear of this guy. But instead of telling anybody about it, she talks him down, calms him down, accepts all of the trash and things that he piled on her, told her that it was her fault for keeping a secret from him and that he don't tolerate secrets. See, that was the foundation he was laying right then and there. That foundation of control. He was grooming her right then and there. That's when it started. From the slap to the explanation. He's grooming, laying the foundation. This is how it's going to be. And when she talked him down and said, okay, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again, there was acceptance of that. There was acceptance of the new rules of the house. She laid that out. She said, I submit. The reason she submitted was because she was ashamed. She didn't want to admit to her brother and to her mother and let them know what was going on, and then invited this person into this house with her child. She didn't want to admit that she had made a mistake, so she accepted these new rules. She accepted these new rules from him. She accepted this unacceptable behavior from him. So now they make up. They make love. And now they pretend nothing happened. He didn't bruise her or anything like that, so you couldn't see anything on the outside. But on the inside, her heart was cracking. All right? So as time went on, he becomes more involved in her son's life. He's laying a foundation as father, stepfather. Now, this is a tool, this is a manipulation tool that a lot of people that are abusers use. Get real close to the child, make it harder for the mother to pull away, because the child is only going to see what's in his face. And he sees this dude as somebody that has stepped in the gap, filled the role of the father, because his father's not in his life like he wants him to be. So now here's somebody that's at the house, that's playing ball with him, coming to his games, doing all of these types of things. So months go by. Everything's been fine. Right? He's still talking to bro on the phone. Bro still thinks everything is cool. He's sending him money, taking care of everything that he would ask him to take care of. Everything is going fine. But every now and then, he creates a reason to put his hands on bro's sister. He slaps her around a little bit. Never enough to bruise her. Never enough. But he's breaking her down. He's breaking her spirit down. He's breaking her down as a woman. He wants her to be totally submissive to him because what he's experiencing is this idea of, I'm not losing another woman. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So now, to make sure that, to safeguard that, right? Whenever she's on the phone, like I said, wasn't no cell phone, so it's the house phone. So whenever she's on the phone, who you talking to? I want to know who you're talking to. Matter of fact, when the phone rings, I'll answer it. That kind of thing. So her mother started to notice every time the phone rings, he's the one that answers it. And he puts her on the phone. And then one day her mother heard him say, don't be on that phone too long. So she asked her daughter, said, what's going on? And she quickly pushed it to the side, said, nothing. He just needs to use the phone. Made an excuse for him. Made an excuse for his behavior. So she's talking to her mom on the phone, and after a few minutes, he gives her that look. And she said, Ma, I gotta go. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And she really didn't even wait for her mother to say, I love you, and hung up the phone. She's on the phone. Now she goes into the kitchen. She makes some food for him to eat, for them to eat. But now she's starting to realize, I got to do something. I got to say something to somebody. But who does she say it to? What does she do? So one day, when Q was out at work, her brother happens to call. And she tells him everything, all the way back to that first slap. Now, bro is pissed. I'm talking about he's in a rage because this is his sister. You feel what I'm saying? And he's not going to tolerate anybody, folks or not, putting hands on his sister. He's just not going to tolerate that. So he does what a lot of brothers do in situations like that because Q's the folks, he bring it to the fam. When he bring it to the fam, we all listening to this as he's breaking this down, right? And some of us were like, man, you know what's up with Q? This, that, and the third. And so being the 9, I say, what's up, bro? What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Because I know what I would do if that happened to my sister. And I know what I would want the family to do. In fact, I went through that. You know what I'm saying? One time, my sister, you know what I'm saying? She had this ex that was cheating on her. You feel me? And then she caught him, and then he gonna put his hands on her neck. She come to visit. She's telling me about it, right? And she's crying. Now, while she's crying, folks in them in the VG, they get up and come on and say, what's wrong, sis? And she's continuing to tell the story while they're standing around. The officers just standing there looking, don't know what to say, right? And while she's telling the story, they're listening. And then they all go back to to their visits and all this and that, right? And they end up, some of them left before I left visit, right? I'm staying to the very last minute. I want to comfort my sister. So when I get back to the pod, I'm getting ready to get on the phone because I'm going to call folks in on the town, tell them to go take care of this. So when I get back to the pod, it's lockdown. After the lockdown, I come out, I get ready to get on the phone. Folks and them say, folks, that's already taken care of. I said, what you talking about? They said, we done already made the call. They done already took care of him. So when I call home, I talked to my sister. She was like, what did you do? I said, what are you talking about? She said, Sam got beat up. I said, oh, did it? Oh, that's too bad. He'll be okay, right? So my grandmother gets on the phone and she said, boy, what is wrong with you? And I told my grandmother, I said, Gran, I love you. But if anybody put their hands on you, my grandmother, she was single because my granddaddy had passed away, right? But she never messed around again with anybody else, you know what I'm saying? She stayed single the rest of her life. May she rest in peace. And may my grandfather rest in peace. But I told Gran, I said, look, you my grandma. But if you was involved in a relationship with somebody and he put his hands on you, then woe unto him. So I understood what bruh wanted. I knew what he wanted. I said, we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. So, but keep in mind, my situation is a little different than his. Because this dude that my sister was messing with, we're going to call him Sam. This dude that my sister was messing with wasn't the folks. They had no problem with that. But when I called the town and I'm telling folks on the town what the business is and who this dude is and all this and where he's at and all this old kind of stuff, right? And I tell them, he one of the guys. So they said, man, folk, we'll talk to him. I said, talk to him. What's to talk about? Man, y'all need to put hands on dude, man. And he said, folks on the town, that's what they tell him. They said, for what? I said, man, he ain't got no business putting his hands on sis. And then folks on the town said, man, she grown, right? I'm like, yeah, she grown. I said, so what you telling me is that you're not going to help sis. And I sat there for a minute and I'm listening to him give me all these long excuses. I said, you know what, folks? I'll take care of it. Don't even worry about it. He said, folks, you handle the inside. We got the outside. I said, man, if y'all ain't going to do nothing, you ain't handling nothing. He said, folks, you handle the inside. We got the outside. I said, that's what's up, folks. So I go back to folks and I'm telling folks everything that I was told on the phone. Right? And I could see it. Tear rolled down his face, man. He pissed. He said, man, what's up with folks now? They gonna let this dude hurt my sister? That ain't the business. That ain't the business. And he looked at me. He said, Joe T, it ain't nothing you can do. I said, man, I'm gonna try to take care of it, though, man. I got some brothers I can go to, man, that'll get grimy with it. You know what I'm saying? In the dark. I said, I'm gonna do everything I can to take care of this, right? So time goes by. Folks on the town done let everybody know. Don't move on him. They done called him in. They done talked to him. He lying about it. He's saying this and saying that, saying she was cheating on him. Give all these kind of excuses that would make people like look at it and be justified in allowing him to be able to get away with whatever he wanted to get away with when it comes to brother's sister. Just lying. Just lying. So now, when he go back home, he confronts her. He said, you didn't think I was going to find out? You didn't think I was going to find out? He said, I got you. Now, he didn't do nothing right then, right? He didn't do nothing right then. He waited till the weekend. He waited till the weekend because he took the little boy to stay with his grandma. Now, the little boy's over his grandma. And that whole weekend, he terrorized her, man. He beat her. He beat her and repeatedly beat her and repeatedly raped her. Forced her to have sex with him. Beat her. Look here, let me tell you, when I say beat her, he took a what you call a coat hanger, right? Back in the day, the wire coat hanger. He beat her with a coat hanger. He would take the coat hanger and put a lighter on it, burn it, and just beat her. Beat her. And then force her to have sex with him. He did that for the whole weekend. Now, her little boy got sick. He's over at his grandma's, right? So the grandmama called the house to tell her, look, meet me at the hospital. Your little boy's sick. My grandbaby's sick. So she tell her mama, right? Listen to me now. Because she got bruises all over her. She been beat all over her. And she's been raped repeatedly. She said, I can't come to the hospital. Just take him to the hospital and then bring him back home. Just keep me informed. Let me know what's going on. So the mama's like, what do you mean you not going to meet me at the hospital? What is going on? So she panics. She gets off of the phone. Now, her immediate attention is to her grandson. So she takes her grandson to the hospital. She takes her grandson to the hospital. And then when she comes back from the hospital, he's fine. He just had a stomach virus. She brings him back. She goes by the house and she stops by the house and knocks on the door. Then Q comes to the door. He comes to the door, opens the door halfway, said, hey, what you want? She said, where's my daughter? She's asleep, but she's looking over his shoulder. She sees her daughter in the background, crying, looking rough, hair all over the place. So she pushes her way past him. Get out of my way. She gets in there and she sees her daughter is just terrible, beaten, bruises all over her body. Bruises all. Now imagine this: a coat hanger is made out of wire. And if you burn it, it's hot. It's like metal. You understand what I'm saying? He's beating her with that, right? This is what old pimps used to do to their prostitutes back in the day. He beat her with that. So now the mother is angry. I'm talking about angry. And she tells him, get out. I'm going to the police. Get out. So he bucks up and gets in her face like he's going to do. She said, you put one hand on me and you'll die tonight. You'll die tonight. So he leaves. And when he walks out the door, he pushed past the little boy. The little boy is looking at him. He don't know what's going on. What is happening? This person that he had put in his mind that was going to be his daddy, now he's hearing that he's done beat his mama. He's confused. He's looking up at him while he pushes past him. Q don't even look at him. Now he's gone. He's gone. Jumps in the car and he speeds away. Now what? The daughter tells her mama, don't call the police. She said, oh, I'm calling the police. That's just that on that. That's the end of that. But right now, I need to get you to the hospital. So she gets her up. They put some clothes on her. They take her to the hospital. Now look here, check this out. You're going to have to tune into the next episode to hear what happens, right? You're going to have to tune into the next episode, right? And I promise you that you're not going to regret coming back to listen to the rest of this show. You need to hear this. Don't forget to check out my book, Rivals, you know what I'm saying? And the movie's going to be coming out soon. I just want to keep reminding you of that so that it'll stay fresh on y'all mind. You feel what I'm saying? But look here. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. And I say peace, y'all.